let me start by setting the context. Let me just start by saying thank you to all of you. I've met most of you, and it has been absolute pleasure knowing all of you, working closely with most of you present over here, and all of your entrepreneurial journeys have inspired me so much. And between me and Karan, we always have discussions about entrepreneurship, and there's a few topics that always come up. And I know that Karan is extremely passionate about these common experiences that are shared by the founders. And that's why the roundtable, we had a version one last year, and it was super successful. The conversations that flew were so inspiring, energetic. There was a lot of, learning that happened, peer learning that happened over here. And here we are back again at RISE PECO Summit 2025 to have a second round of discussion with new speakers on Founders Dilemma. Founder's Dilemma, I don't think it's just a concept, it's a living reality for all of you. And as founders, you grapple with balancing personal vision, the North Star that drives you, the operational control, the sustainable growth, the questions around investments, the questions around using the capital that you have, managing team dynamics, people coming, leaving. I think there are just so many of these dynamics when you are running a company, and I would like to welcome this stellar lineup of speakers and participants who are representing such a diverse industry. So, whether it is circular business, health, technology, defense, and my personal close to heart art, we have startups and founders representing all these sectors. And I'm hoping that with these diverse sectors, diverse representation, we also get different perspectives on the same challenges that all of you sort of come across. And I'm thrilled to see what would be the insights that emerge from this conversation. So, our goal is not just to have this conversation, but our goal is to create a platform where we can openly discuss these tough questions and learn from each other's journey. And without further ado, let's dive into this discussion by having a small round of introduction of all the people, all the founders that are present over here. Okay, I'll start by myself. I'm not a founder, but I head entrepreneurship vertical. My name is Triza Dow, and I have been working with entrepreneurs for the last 8 years, working on various incubation acceleration program, designing different kind of programs for entrepreneurs to help them achieve their own goals and help them forward their businesses in a sustainable way. So that's with me, and let me just pass this baton to somebody else. Alka, do you want to go next? And Alka, you can just tag somebody else from the group.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi everybody. I am Dr. Alka Valavalkar. I am here representing Resonance Wellness, where we help people manage metabolic conditions with the help of integrative approach. We are also into nutrigenomics, wherein we do the genetic testing, and based on the genetic insights, we help people manage their metabolic conditions or whatever health goals they have. So, basically, it's a service industry more than a product. And so we have altogether different challenges which we will be discussing in this coming session. I'm a certified diabetes educator, integrative health and medicine practitioner. And thank you so much, Karen and Triza, for having me on this platform, and looking forward to a very fruitful discussion. And whom can I tag? I need to see everybody. So, Mita, would you like to go next?
Thank you, Dr. Alka. Uh, I'm Meeta Mathur. I'm from Jaipur, and I have two businesses that I run. First one is called Tanya Crafts Exports, wherein we export bed, bath, and kitchen linen to the hospitality sector. And about 17 to 18% of my work is for designers as well. My second enterprise is called Big Ladder. It is a coaching company, a service oriented company which designs, develops, and delivers uh, customized training programs for corporates and for students in the realms of communication and leadership and entrepreneurship. Uh, I would like to tag Devpriya. Devapriya Khanna.
Yeah,
Yes.
hi. Hello, everyone. Um, I have some bandwidth issues, so I'm not putting on my video, but I can see all of you. And great to be here. we have a session on the 1st, which is coming up. But I mean, I just joined here to sort of hear from all of you. I am a founder. I also, Neeta, like you, I run two businesses. After 18 years of corporate experience as a marketer, I started and I run my own brand consultancy, and we focus a lot on people brand strategies. So we really help individuals to get visible in the right way. Um, my second venture, Connexus Global Ventures, is a pandemic baby. And it was actually started like so many other businesses. It was started during the pandemic. And we help women-led businesses, particularly at the intersection of purpose and profit, to scale globally. And we're doing this initially in the India-UK corridor, but 2025 will see us moving into many other geographies. So very happy to connect on LinkedIn with everyone. And this is my second time at this platform. Karen, thank you very much for creating this and getting us back again and again. And Teresa, always amazing to connect with you and work with you on this platform. You want me to tag somebody? I can see Ritu Rautani right in front of me in vibrant green. So Ritu, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here, Teresa. It is so lovely to see all of you. My name is Ritu Ravtani, and I have my own business. We are into educational toys and games, accessories, and stationery for kids. We go by the brand name I Learn and Grow. And I'm also a trainer and a child psychologist and a soft skill trainer. And I'm also based out of Jaipur. So, Meeta, I'd love to meet you in person someday. Hi. So that is about me, guys. And I'd like to thank Ritika.
Hi, so I'm Ritika Kochar and I live out of Delhi. If you go onto Instagram, my name out, the moniker out there is Delhi Ki Diva, which also, it's not Delhi Ki Diva, it's Delhi Ki Diva because it talks about a culture which is maybe not there presently in Delhi, a culture which tehzeeb, etc. was important, where empathy, humanity was important. It's also a city where we faced a lot of problems and we still do. And it's one of the reasons why I come to art constantly, because I live in this city which has buildings which go back to, I don't know, 2nd century BC. I mean, we have the old fort, which you know that the grounds of it are the Indraprastha. You've still got the remnants of Sufism. You've still got remnants of Mughal grandeur, which still exists. We still have time to save all this if we want to. So that's essentially what got me to writing. The fact that I'd go across the world and I'd see these buildings in Florence, etc. And, and you're like, but these are 16th, 17th century. I have so much better stuff lying at home. Why am I not looking at that? So I started writing. From writing, I started a journalistic career, writing for the Hindu, India Today, Business Standard on art and culture. South Asia became my topic of interest, from which I felt that art education was a topic which needed a lot of attention. The ways I've been doing it is in the first year, I've been running a podcast, which we've had 42 episodes in the first year. And this started because two of my teachers on art history had passed away in the same year, very different ages, but
Ritu, I'm so sorry, but I'll have to come
incredible people.
and
And I wanted to pass on.
hi Ritu. I just have to come in over here and say, can you talk about your art educational business? And we'll have to move to the next speaker because we have tons of questions to address.
Okay. So, okay. The art radio, what it does is it looks at, as I said, conversations with people. It looks at object the arts which work around South Asian art. It looks at art tours, and it looks at also creating institutional knowledge. So if there are, we want to pass on stuff to the next generation. So we can help with writing, with taking that together, with curating all the material, etc. So that's where we are right now.
Thanks, Ritika. So
And
I
I
have
got a tag.
moved.
So Nadhi,
Oh, sorry. I have already asked Shashank to go
Chief of
next.
Climate.
Ritika, I'm so
Okay,
sorry,
ठीक है.
but I have already asked Shashank to go next because we wanted to have some male voices. So Shashank, can you go
Yeah.
next,
So
please?
one mail.
Thanks, Idobro team, for having me today. I'm founder of Earth Tattva. We are based out of Ahmedabad. So what we are doing is we are recycling glaze-fired ceramic waste from the industrial production and turning it back into clay, which reduces mining by 60%. And this clay we are offering to all kinds of artists, studio potters, students, sculptors, so they can make all the existing creations they are making, but using alternate material which enables all of us to reduce consumption of natural resources. And we are also offering some finished products made out of it. So happy to look
Thanks,
forward to the
thanks,
conversation.
Shashank. Can I request Nitu to come next? I'm sorry I'm hurrying you up, but the thing is that I wanted to jump in directly to the questions as fast as possible. So Nitu, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone, I'm Nitu Joseph from Declutter Solutions Private Limited. So, we are a waste management company and we are trying to introduce the concept of biorefinery in waste management, organic waste management in India. So, as a part of this, we have a product lineup, and the first product, our flagship product, which is supported by the government of India, is Aquacol. We are trying to extract collagen, which can be used for cosmetic, nutraceutical, as well as biomedical uses from fisheries byproducts. So basically, we work with the community to create a community-led business model which can be scaled across the country, thereby benefiting us as well as the community that is involved. So I'm really happy to join this conference, and I look forward to connecting with everybody. And thank you for having me over here. Thank you so much, Tessa and Karen.
Thank you, Neetu. Can I ask Megha to go next?
Hello, Teresa. Hello, everyone, for having me here. So I'm also connected with art and culture business. My business name is Rhythm Dancewears. Like it is now Rhythm Overseas, as we have included, apart from dancewears, many South Asian fashion garments also. So we help South Asian communities abroad and Indian cultural societies to promote Indian culture through dances, and we make costumes for them. Looking forward for the fruitful conversation ahead.
Thank you so much, Megha. Can I have Shalini
Yeah.
share her introduction?
Thank you so much, Teresa and Karen, for inviting me to the session. I see a lot of familiar faces. So my name is Shalini, and I'm the founder of Nadi for Climate. When I moved into the climate space, one of the most overwhelming area was, where do I start? Where do I begin? And that resonated with a lot of women because it's a very vast and a complex space. So what Nadi for Climate does, it's a community-driven, women-led, network. So we help more and more women transition into the climate space, but also become leaders and decision makers, because we do not have too many leaders and decision makers in the climate space. So we are currently about 550 odd members. We started about less than a year back. We do this through capacity building, career support, and of course, a vibrant community. So that's what we do. So you can look at us as a mini women plus only community focused LinkedIn network. Thank you so
Shalini.
much. Yeah.
Thanks, Shalini, for the fantastic introduction. Can I have Basundra to introduce her organization?
Yeah, hi everyone, and thank you, Teresa, for having me here today. So I am a founder of EnsoWorks Private Limited. We are currently working with Ministry of Defense to create innovative solutions, sustainable solution out of mushroom mycelia. That is a novel technology across the globe. And because India is currently reliant on imports for defense product solutions, so this is a technology innovation that we are going to give our country, and hopefully it will be very beneficial for our country as well. So I am mostly into innovative and sustainable innovations and working on theme of waste to value. We have also made sustainable paper and packaging solutions out of waste, agricultural waste. So yeah, that's all from my side, and I am here to learn and under the company of such amazing founders. So yeah, thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Vasundhara. With this, I think I would want to move on to couple of invitees that we have who are not entrepreneurs themselves but are ardent supporters of the entrepreneurial ecosystems. So I would like to invite Ketis to come forward and just give a very short introduction.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and it's lovely to be here on this platform. Thanks, Karen, and thanks also, Teresa, for inviting me. I'm Cletus Rizat, professor at College of Social Work, Nirmala Niketan, that is at Churchgate. And I teach the subjects of entrepreneurship and social innovation. And I'm happy to actually really learn also from meeting founders themselves and understanding their journey and their stories. Would love to really interact with each one of you. Thank you. Over to you, Teresa.
Thank you. Can I have Mehnoor Arshad sharing about her journey? She's a special guest. She's joining us all the way from Pakistan.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Yes, my name's Mahnoor Arshad. I work as a research associate at Sustainable Development Policy Institute, which is a think tank based in Islamabad, Pakistan. My work and my research revolves around women's economic empowerment, their inclusion in the trade space, and their financial inclusion as well of women in marginalized communities in general. So this topic is of quite interest to me. And while I will be bringing in the perspective of women entrepreneurs that I've gotten the chance to interact with here in Pakistan, I'm also really looking forward to learning about the perspective of other entrepreneurs from across the border. So, really looking forward to this conversation and being able to contribute to it as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. I am hoping that I have covered all my speakers. If I have not, I would request, if I have missed out anyone, I would request them to just come onto the screen and identify themselves so that I can introduce them. Shruti, did I call you for an introduction?
No, Teresa.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can we have your introduction?
Yes. Thank you, Teresa. I am Shruti Gurvakshani. I am the founder of Flow Matrix Polymer, where we are developing products made out of compostable plastics. So, as all of us know, that environment is getting polluted by different plastics because they are live for a very long time. But here we are developing different products for the people where plastics have a limited life, as well as all the advantages that they have, like they are lightweight, they do not conduct electricity, so safer for electronic goods, and various other household items. Also, we are upcycling waste and plastic waste and converting them into gifting and decor and introducing them through our brand Punarvasu. So thank you. I will be really happy to coordinate and know everyone here. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Shruti. And I think a voice that I missed to bring on to the center stage is Arun. Arun, can I have you give a short introduction?
Yeah, hi, good morning. Good afternoon. Myself Arun from Coimbatore. I'm founder of Ecophilia Sustainable Ventures Private Limited. We are running a startup company promoting eco-friendly corporate gifts made out of our Tamil Nadu local artisan. Throughout Tamil Nadu, we had toured each and every artisan, and we collected their pain points and the products. What our niche is, they have day-to-day sale, a normal sale. They doesn't dream about how corporates can buy our products. So where we cracked that, even your products can sell to corporates as a gifts. Even nowadays, corporates are have that complaints of sustainability and SFT goals. So we are fulfilling that eco-friendly gifts with our made up of our artisans. That's it. And thank you for this opportunity, Teresa. I'm happy to
Thank
connect
you,
with
Arun.
you.
Thank you, Arun. So at the roundtables, we generally have very open conversations based on our 5C model. And we are going to move to, we have already set the context and we are going to move to the next C, which is challenges. So let's pull in some common challenges that all you entrepreneurs face and also look at the contrast when it comes to circular economy businesses, high technology businesses, or businesses that work in different sectors. So this is an open question. Can we talk about like the most bugging challenges or problems that you face as an entrepreneur? This is the open question. Anybody can take it.
So, Teresa, I'm actually going to jump the queue if I may, because as you all know, we have the whole summit going on and I'll be going out. But I just want to quickly maybe share just a very small thing that, why we've kind of done this. And because obviously I, as a founder as well, and, I've been doing Idobro now is 15 years old. We celebrated 15 years of Idobro. So, the kind of challenges that you face, and I constantly say this, in fact, even on social media, I put this out saying, entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey, right? And an entrepreneur is expected to do everything. Doesn't matter whether you're a startup 1 year old or you're 15 years old into it. You still have to do everything, right? You're always thinking on the top. There is no off day for you. There's no. And I think one of the challenges I want to kind of really share over here is having not just a WhatsApp group where you can talk to people, but really knowing that there are people who have experienced very similar things and you can reach out to them when you want, you know. I think that's what I would love to see happening with this. Last year, we had a very successful, as Teresa said, we had a very successful roundtable last year, and we've been working with some of the entrepreneurs, and that's why some of them said, common faces and very what you call it, known faces. So really, my hope is that just as I reach out to some of you all sometimes when I need help or what I need problems, I hope that this is what we can start doing is create this safe space, because I think all of us need that, right? Where we can actually be vulnerable, we can actually share and not be worried, okay, what will people think, And I think that's that constant thing to put on a show to say, oh, I'm doing great, I means we are doing amazing stuff, we are all great and all. But in reality, it's like how we say, how are you feeling? Fine. How are things going? Fine. Everything is fine, but actually it's not so fine. That's the reality of an entrepreneur's journey. And so I just want to put that out there, because I know I go through this all the time, at times. And of course, I'm lucky to have my colleagues like Teresa and the others, no doubt about it. But still, it's different. It's not the same, right? Because the buck stops at you. And so just dealing with that pressure sometimes, dealing with, what really should my authentic self be about, and how do I be positive in the face of all these challenges, is for me is what it is. So just left it out there and wanted to share that. So Teresa, very sorry, I jumped the queue.
So, Teresa, I'll go
Thanks.
next.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Dr. Alka, sorry.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead, please.
So I'll go next probably because I don't think anybody else is from the service industry. So in my industry oh yeah, Shalini is there. She's raising her hand. So in my industry, where integrative health awareness is a very important thing. So reaching out to the prospective clients or patients and explaining them the importance of integrative health, because everybody today is looking for quick fixes. Quick fixes are needed sometimes, but they are not going to give you sustainable health. So we are talking about sustainability of everything, but not about sustainable health. So for me as a person into integrative health and into genetic testing, that also I'll come to. A lot of effort goes in creating the awareness, educating the people to understand the value of integrative health, also genetic testing. Now, again, when we do genetic testing and we get the genetic insights of a person, it helps us a lot to, give them in return to bring in the changes and have sustainable health. Now, one positive streak in this is that the existing clientele or the existing patients, each one of them is a brand ambassador. So once they taste it, once they implement it, they become your brand ambassador. So that is one positive streak that helps us in this awareness thing. Otherwise, breaking the barrier of mind of people and telling them, conveying to them the importance of adopting integrative health approach is the challenge we constantly face. And if anybody out here is into, spreading awareness, I would love to connect and learn how we can be more efficient in doing this.
Thank you, Alka. I think that's a very different take on challenges that you mentioned. Would love to hear some more challenges from. Yes, Meeta.
I think, okay, Nita, you go first. No, no, Nitu, you please go.
Thank you.
Okay.
So yes, that's Alka. That's from the services side, and if let me talk to you from the product point of view. So for me, the basic dilemma was to go domestic or to go international, because when you have these very limited resources, man, money, machine, material, these are limited, and of course your time is limited. You have a very limited team resource with you. And with that, what should I cover? Should I cover the domestic market or should I cover the international market? Eventually, we decided to go for the international market simply because it not only it gave us a lot of bandwidth and an opportunity to travel a lot, which both of us are very, very passionate about. It also raised the bar for us in terms of giving uh, extensively great services, throughout the entire product cycle, because the quality is the main concern. So, and we've been, fortunately for us, we've been very successful in creating that kind of market for ourselves. So that was a very big challenge for me, Teresa, all throughout, to decide on what to, we have the very good product, we have great everything, but what needs to be focused on. So that was my concern. Yes, Ritu.
So, as Sridhar, you said, as a startup founder, you have to wear a lot of hats. कभी हम productivity में, कभी management में, कभी accountancy में. Finding a right team member, even if it's just one team member, I think is very difficult because जो आपका passion है, जिस passion से आप काम कर रहे हो, वो team member उस passion से कभी काम नहीं कर सकता. या जिस तरीके से आप अपने product को देखते हो, या आप अपने product को approach करते हो, it takes a lot of effort to find the correct team member. And to build that team is very important, I think, because आप सारी चीजें बहुत time तक नहीं कर सकते. Like I remember in the first year of our business, I was packing orders also. I was doing the marketing bit also. But now I need team to pack orders because इतना सब मैं नहीं कर सकती. So I think as a startup, when you don't have a lot of funds, you can't hire directly people from great institutes like IIMs. So at that level, finding the right team becomes very difficult.
Thanks, Ritu. I think we have few hands that are raised. Neetu, do you want to come in and
Yeah,
share
yeah,
your
sure, sure. So, as a founder, when I started out, we started out in 2021, just fresh right after the pandemic. So, and we work in the domain of waste management. One of the main challenges that initially, when I was starting out, that I faced was ageism. So, as a female founder who is young, when you go pitch in front of a panel or approach a government agency or anything, the first dialogue you hear is, "Arey beta, aap you go in and get some experience, na? Kyun? Why you right off the bat starting a business? You have a good career in front of you. Why do you want to do this? You're very young. कूड़े में क्यों काम करना आपको?" And a lot of things like that. So to put across the message that you can actually build a product and a team and a business is something which becomes very challenging in this aspect. And also there is a little bit of when you approach government agencies, there is a different ball game altogether. So we have secured fundings from central government agencies like the Department of Biotechnology and also. But before this, there is a round of evaluation that happens. So during that kind of evaluation, another issue that comes in as a challenge is they look for PhD degrees. Okay, I do not discount the importance of a PhD, but as a person who comes with an industrial experience, that I find that a little bit of you know uh, what do you call it? Like people come with preconceptions, preconceived notions that only with a PhD, whatever you do can be an effective solution. Like many a times, like they don't listen to what actually is happening on the grassroots level. We work with the community. We have personally worked with close to 12,000 waste pickers across the country, and we also work with marginalized communities. So those feedbacks and the voices from the ground seldom reach these kinds of forums. So I find it very disheartening when that is discounted. So technological interventions will only be translated into effective products and services when you listen to the end user or the people that you get work out of, or who are with you to create the enterprise that you're building. So that is one of the challenges we had faced. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Neetu. I think we have Shalini, Shashank, and Megha would like to share the challenges that they have faced. So let's start with Shalini and move on to Shashank and then.
So I'll talk about probably two specific, I think, which probably a lot of us will also resonate. One is, I think at some point when we are building, it's also important to know when to pivot, when to continue. I think I know Teresa and Karen from my earlier business, the Kind business. I kind of also realized that I'm probably too early in the market. So it was important for me to kind of take a step back, pause on it, and then move ahead with with Nadi, because I think it's very important to listen to the market as well as how we are kind of moving ahead with our. We have to, of course, give it time. We can't give up, but I think that it's very important. I think somebody is not. Sorry. The second I would say is when you're building something, you get to hear a lot of advice, suggestion, and inputs. And we are flooded with, you have to do it this way, that way, or you take this, probably you're building it too slow, too fast. Your pricing is too high, too low. You probably have to have a different strategy. I think it's very important sometimes, while there are people with the right intentions, it's important also to kind of follow a little bit of your own intuition, because I think that has worked for me so far. And it's super, super, super important to have a sounding board. Thankfully, over the last year or so, building my own community, I was able to find a good set of sounding board members who I kind of reach out to, talk about them. Hey, should I launch it now? Should I wait for it? I think all those things actually help. So I think these are the two areas I would say are super critical, which is when to pivot or when to take a pause, and how do you listen, or how do you kind of rationalize so much of advice and suggestions you're getting? That's
Thanks,
it.
Shalini. Shashank, do you want to go next?
Sure.
And
Thank
request
you.
all the speakers to keep an eye on the chat. I'm so sorry, Shashank. Request all the speakers to keep eye on the chat. I can see a lot of collaborations happening on the chat and people asking questions or giving kudos. So please feel free to respond to the other speakers in the session. Over to you, Shashank. Sorry again.
No worries. So for us, because we work extensively with clay as a material and it's so natural, we just cannot accelerate the process of either production or testing because it takes its own time. If we try to accelerate its drying or anything, it would definitely warp or bear cracks. So for as an entrepreneur, that has really taught me to just let things go and probably adapt to however the situation is. And we also cannot leave it in between. So that also adds to a lot of discipline, because if we start working with the material, we have to finish the whole thing at a go. We cannot save it. We cannot control Z it. So I think, I just adapting helps a lot. And that is something that has come through the material. Thank you.
Thanks, Shashank. Megha, you want to go next?
Yes. So the challenges as per the budding entrepreneur, I feel nowadays इतने सारे आपको platforms मिलेंगे. There are numerous of social media platforms, numerous of selling platforms. So it is really hard to decide which platform to start from in your early stages, because on social media they demand you daily new content, and to keep up with the trend and using your limited resources, you have to post content daily or they will push you out of the market. And also on many selling platforms also, they have like huge amount for subscriptions and registering and onboarding fees. So it is a big challenge for budding entrepreneurs to decide which platforms to start in their starting years.
Thanks, Megha. I think that's a very common challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs face with respect to figuring out the initial steps of marketing. I would like to request Vasundhara, you want to talk about the challenges that your organization working on defense product faces?
Yeah, actually, there are two major challenges. I mean, apart from every challenge, the common challenges that every startup founder faces, there are two major challenges that I've come across working with the defense industry. And one is that we work on the theme of sustainability. Like I already said, we are creating a fire retardant textile from mushroom mycelium, which is a novel technology across the globe currently. So two things that we are facing is we are making it sustainable. So we are also using waste to grow it and everything. So sustainability and waste to value theme, that only in itself is a challenge to create awareness about even the consumer that has given you the say grant or funding or everything, and the consumer that is willing to buy the product, even they are not willing to entertain the idea that we are investing into sustainability. So that raising that kind of awareness is a uphill climb. Like we have to struggle daily to create that kind of awareness. Like sustainability is something that that needs to be invested in. It's not an indirect cost or direct cost. It's something that in the long run will help you only. And it's always sustainable products are looking at the indirect costs. They are always better because people are mostly looking at the direct costs only. And the second thing that we faced is like, as I said, we have taken on the challenge of sustainable and waste value, and we have included research based on top of that. So doing research, what I have felt during my journey, that research industry is not very much encouraged. Like there are a lot of struggles to getting a research funding, to getting testing facilities onboarded, because not every startup founder, any startup founder, they do not have that kind of funding that they can establish that kind of testing facility at hand in the initial setup. So getting those testing and certifications, and because even our country does not have every kind of certification needed, and specifically like we are into fire retardancy solution. So specific solutions are not always there. Like testing, we have to go out of the country. Certification, we have to go out of the country, and we have to collaborate for that as well. So that takes time as well. So one of the things that is also a challenge are timelines that we have to meet, but we are unable to because of the lag at other testing sites or the facilities or the collaborations that are taking place. So the uphill climb for sustainability waste to value, and on top of that, research, taking the research in hand, which is actually novel across the globe. So we do not even get experts to contribute into that because it's kind of a budding field itself. So yeah, that's a few of the challenges that I faced. Two of the major challenges that I faced. This is now.
Thanks, Vasundhara. And before I move to the next speaker, I feel that the challenges that we're discussing are so diverse. And I feel like the 15 minutes or 20 minutes discussion is not going to capture it. So, can I request everybody, all the speakers and the attendees, to put one word that resonates most closely to the challenge that they face? So, whether it is team, whether it's potential, whether it's product market fit, anything that they feel is the most pressing challenge, they can put a word or a phrase on the chat, and we will try to see what trend comes up. Yeah, and there are a lot of hands up. Let me ask Bhavini to share the challenges that she is facing with her organization currently. Sorry, Bhavna.
I was about to say, yes, is it me or someone else? So thank you. My apologies, I was a little late, but this topic is so close to my heart. The key word that I would like to talk about is tensions. I think a founder's life is the epicenter of multiple tensions. As I was hearing some of the others speak, and I was finding, resonance for myself, I found that, the challenges for a founder or for me as a founder have been constantly reconciling who am I and what am I doing. The second is, why am I doing what I'm doing? Do I have the clarity of what my purpose is? So the tensions that I carry start from, and are not limited to the ones that I will list, but start from, am I innovative enough? So, like, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but somebody said my timing has to be right. Right now, if I'm very innovative, it is very likely my timing will not be right because people will not be used to it. So, I have to be innovative in as much as make sure that enough people will relate with it, and my timing has to be right. Tension number two, do I follow my way of doing things, which is my understanding, my perspective, my life experience, or should I listen to, again, somebody had pointed this out, is, there is a playbook of setting up a startup, there is an accepted, established way of doing a startup. So should I follow the paved path, or should I make my own path? That's the second tension. The third tension is, who do I take along with me? Do I take anybody who's willing to come with me, or do I take those people who align with me on my values? How do I figure out that we align on values or not? Will it happen over time, like a marriage, or will I know very quickly? No, no, no. This is like a red flag, and we need to cut our losses. So that's the fourth tension. And the fifth that I was able to articulate for now is, how am I seen? Uh, is that in alignment with how I feel inside? So, for example, right now you are seeing me, you see that I have gray hair, I most likely have a lot of experience. So, I have some corporate experience. So, you make an image about who I am. I'm a woman, among other things. So, all these things will probably. Am I audible? I just suddenly cannot see myself.
Yeah, you're audible, Bhavna.
Okay. I have lost my image, so it's fine. My last point was that, how am I seen? So I'm seen like this by others, but that may not be all of how I see myself. I actually see myself as a very young, vibrant, energetic person, but somebody seeing me might think of me as a 50-year-old gray-haired woman who is probably, doesn't know what she's talking about. May not be technologically friendly, but I think of myself as a techno geek. So that tension, reconciling how I feel inside versus how I'm seen outside, is the fifth tension among the many tensions that a founder has to continuously manage. Is the challenge, I think, of founders. I'll take a pause, but please feel free to add to this or rubbish it as your experience.
Thanks, Bhavna. I think we have explored another dimension of entrepreneurial challenges. Before we move out on to the next section, we spoke about challenges. We are going to move towards the solution of these challenges. So, but before we go that, I can see a hand up. Shruti, do you want to share the set of challenges that you're facing? I would request everybody to put the phrase, the word, etc on the chat, because I want triggers for the next set of responses to the question that I'm going to ask to people. So please put in some phrases, words that you think are the most important challenges that you face. Over to you, Shruti.
Thank you, Teresa. I think a lot of challenges have already been spoken, but one challenge I personally feel is the timelines to meet the people and test them, especially when you want them to be a part of your core team, because all of us have lot of innovation and thoughts, but we do not have the right team when we start. Some may have co-founders, some may not have co-founders. So, and even if you have co-founders, both of you or three of you may not have the all set of capabilities or skills to expand your business to a larger scale. So, accommodating newer people and adapting to their styles without having controversies or without having that friction is a challenge that each one of us faces. Also, being in the consumer space, innovations is one good thing that we have to innovate continuously. But at the same time, innovating and what is being accepted into the market, especially with the consumer products, is very challenging because all the products that you think or your team thinks even after a market survey are not going to work. So, that is another area I want to address.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you so much for those insights. I think you have also shared some new ways of looking at new challenges that are very internal but also very core. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs who have been always facing these friction, not really frictions, but these wavelength related issues in their own organizations while taking critical decisions in their businesses. So thank you for spotlighting that. And I think we have spent quite a bit of time on challenges. Let's talk about some solutions. Let's talk about our third C, which is capabilities. And capabilities is nothing else than finding the strengths, the resources, the networks, the support system inside as well as outside of your own organization that you have found to be helpful to manage these challenges, whether it is finding co-founders, strategic investment, funding, collaboration, talents. I mean, all the challenges that you have mentioned. Are there people who have found some sort of capabilities like inside the organization, in their close quarters, or beyond their second and third degree of connections? So yeah, this is again an open question. Please go ahead. Anybody has any insights that they can share about overcoming certain challenges? More than welcome to jump in.
So I'd like to talk about one of the challenges that Vasundhara was mentioning, the testing facility related. So we had in 2023 highlighted this challenge to some of the senior officials from Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. So now they are building a platform, as well as this same thing was highlighted to Government of Tamil Nadu as well. So right now, although the whole work is happening in silos, like different departments are now coming together and building platforms where the samples can be tested at a affordable cost. That is also another issue which was prevailing, that testing charges are like exponentially high when you go to private labs. So the government is actively taking steps, but the issue is we as founders need to keep on giving a feedback so that if all these platforms come together and converge as a national level or international level platform where any founder can reach out with their testing requirements and they get a viable and economical solution, that will be a big game changer. Basically, it will democratize the whole process of certifications and testing. Yeah, that's about it.
Thanks, Neetu. Sorry, I got distracted. Shashank, do you want to go? Sorry, Mahsoor, do you want to go next? And Shashank, after that, we would love to hear your insights on the capabilities that you have found in your organization. Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry, were you referring to me, Teresa?
Yeah, you go first, and then Shashank can go next.
All right, all right. So perhaps I'd just like to talk about entrepreneurs who fall into the informal economy, because a lot of the entrepreneurs present over here have registered businesses, and they've fallen into that formal sort of ecosystem of entrepreneurship and so on. So these women-led businesses who are still part of the informal economy, while there are some who might be there because they do not want to get into the process of giving taxation to the government, so on and so forth. But then there are businesses who are unable to register also, right? And that could be because they find the process quite strenuous, or they're unable to get access to the right sort of tables and platforms where they can go and register their businesses. So what happens, there's this space that's created for businesses that men have registered under their wives or sisters or mothers' names, and then they're able to make use of all those women-related schemes and exemptions that are for women-led businesses. But since there's no way to verify if there's a man who's actually leading that business, they're able to make use of those things. So I think this is where successful businesses like yourselves come into play, and mentorship programs, having online networks, and platforms that, especially women who face mobility issues and are unable to step out and be part of networking platforms physically, can make use of such platforms and apps and so on and so forth, where successful women businesses and the you can say civil society organizations and think tanks and knowledge brokers like ourselves also could perhaps provide capacity building modules, awareness sessions, campaigns in collaboration with successful women entrepreneurs who have already become part of the formal ecosystem of the entrepreneurship milieu. So that's something that I wanted to add at this point, and maybe later on I could add more.
Thanks, Mehnur. I don't think it is only a unorganized women entrepreneurs issue. I've seen this of women entrepreneurs being nominal heads or nominal founders of companies, and actually men doing the business but taking advantage of the facilities and offers that are available on the table. I think the next speaker I had was Shashank. Shashank, you want to go next?
Yeah. Hi. So in terms of capacity building, for us, what has worked is non-stop collaboration with various stakeholders because, of course, at the initial stage, two things. One is that we don't know a lot of things, and there are others who are already been there in their own capacity. So that really helps to leverage their resources, knowledge, and the support. Second is we definitely don't have funds to get everything on a transactional basis, which is actually good because from my journey, I have realized that so many people have been wanting to do something meaningful, add value to the society in their younger days. But for various reasons, they may not have been able to pursue that. But when we approach them with something that really adds value and they find it really exciting, they resonate with it and they're just so happy to jump onto the boat and help you out in any capacity that they can. And that actually increases the organic reach of whatever we are doing and also expands the scope of what we can achieve together. And that association actually goes on for a very long time against the transaction association, which keeps depending on the monetary value that is offered in the transaction. Yes, Rahul. Thank you.
So, Teresa, I would like to add to what Shashank is speaking about collaboration. So, innovation is a part of any business. You have to keep innovating and keep your business relevant. So, in the integrative health space, we have a lot of trial and errors, and we were looking for some solutions. So, this collaboration, you don't have money to invest for R&D. You don't have money to invest for all the compliances and stuff. So collaboration works very well. So I'll give you an example, like, so we had a collaboration with Haystack Analytics, which is a genetic lab out of IIT Bombay. And this genetic testing product, Genetic Health Navigator, which we offer to people, is in collaboration with this Haystack Analytics. And so the entire R&D, compliances, all the stuff regarding around that genetic analysis is being taken care by them. And so the consulting is being taken care by us. So it's like, pooling in the resources, and you are really, the burden is off your shoulder to take care of a lot of things, and still you have a co-branded product. So collaborations really help a lot in, bringing in different innovations and keeping the business relevant to today's time.
Thanks, Alka. I would love to hear some more solutions that people have found for their businesses via collaboration, via any other means of having these low-hanging fruits that people are not looking at. So, would love to hear. I think, Meeta, you have something to share. Please go ahead.
So while Menor spoke about the community and the importance of network, and my friend Aati spoke about building collaboration, what I would like to talk about is to have very healthy communications within the organization and setting their goals. What is it they want for a short term and the long term? Whether it is wealth maximization through going via the way of funding from angels or from venture capitals, or whether they want to scale it up and retain the control in their hands. So for me, the solutions that I found in my organization of being bootstrapped and growing very slowly came through, talking it out with my partners on how we want to grow. Like, we don't want to lose control. We want to have the last say in our organization. Because what I've seen, and because as you know, Teresa, I work with a lot of new entrepreneurs and I train them for the same thing. What I found is that over a period of time, when they want to grow really fast and want to get into funding, the things happen is then they say, "Ma'am, ab to hamare haath mein kuch hai hi nahi. Everything the investor will have the control." So I feel that that goal setting needs to be done before you start scaling up.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely right. Thank you, Meeta. And I would now recommend people to just jump in and continue the conversation instead of me inviting people.
Yeah, so I would like to jump in here. I would like to raise the point that Ms. Shruti actually said about the team. Touchwood, I had a team as soon as I had the idea in place. So uh, it actually is very relevant to have a team in place because we as entrepreneurs face stress day in and day out, and our team is the only one who understands because they are facing the same challenges day in and day out, and they can act as a soundboards, they can act as stress relievers, and we can talk to them about the things that are pestering us, that we are challenges that we are facing daily in our lives. So one of the like a solution that I would like to offer is that I recently had a visit at Huddle Global. I was exhibitor there. And I saw a lot of people getting a very good connects and creating meaningful connections throughout. So, but it should have a pan India reach. There's no such dedicated platform currently. If more people come together, because not every founder, not every person has an idea, and not every person has the skill set. Some people have the idea, some people have the relevant skill set, and if they can come and collaborate together and form a team, and say with some incentive or say as a co-founding member, team member, if there's such a platform there, people can say that they have certain skill sets, and people can say their idea, and they both are interested in the entrepreneurial journey together. So that would create a pool of resources and skill sets, and people can come together and talk and create a relevant team that can help create innovative solutions altogether. So there are certain already there are sweet dating sites and all that thing that are happening even in the entrepreneurial journey, right? I'm not talking about other thing. So yeah, there are things happening, but they do not have a pan India reach. So if some kind of platform, dedicated platform can be formed by all those people who are facing the same challenges like the team building. So if they can come together and collaborate and form a platform, that would be helpful to a lot of people even coming in the future who will face those same challenges. So that's all from my side for this thing as a solution.
So I'll probably jump in next, Teresa. I think Alka probably, being the service business and others probably would resonate with some of the things I'm trying to I'll kind of share here. In a service business, you're also kind of dependent on partnerships and collaborations, because at the end of the day, you need the right partners. And Nadi it's more a community and a network. So we are, it's a brains coming together and people coming together and build something meaningful. So for me, when I started, I think the power of having community leads in each chapter, because I can't be in every city. I have to kind of delegate and have leadership locally to build these chapters in every city. So empowering that leaders and ensuring that they have access, visibility, and also, that motivation to build something from the scratch was for me the most meaningful lesson I've learned while building the community. I think we sometimes don't think that we don't really talk too much about empowerment of teams or our partners. I think it's very important that the empowering the teams actually goes a long way, because they become the decision makers. They own it at the end of the day, right? So I think that's probably what I would share as one of the solutions I found while building Nadi.
Thanks, Shalini. Anybody else has any inputs? I think
So
that
what I
we have.
feel is,
Yeah.
what
Sorry.
I feel is that, when I talk about collaborations, they're not only important for service industry, but being in product industry, I feel collaborations are equally important. Even cross-brand collaborations, like for example, if I'm into kids industry and somebody who has a kids play area, if we do a cross-brand collaboration with them, promote them and they promote us, it also helps. Instead of seeing each other as competition, we can share our target market being the same, we can share our customer base, and that is how we grow together. So I think collaborations and networking overall in today's day and time is very important to go up in the ladder of business. Without networking, there's no business today.
I so strongly
Fantastic
agree with
point.
you. I
Neat.
strongly agree because we at Aware, the organization of women entrepreneurs, we'd worked on these cross collaborations a lot on social media, on virtual spheres, and also while exhibiting, and it was such a super success that we've been continuing doing this for the past 3 years now.
Thanks, Meeta. I think I'm going to step in very quickly, and there are a lot of quiet voices over here. So I'm just going to call out. And if you feel that you have something to share, please jump in. You can talk about either magical solution that popped up with you because you collaborated, or you leverage some of your internal capabilities. And the quiet voices is Arun, Pinky, Ritika. If you would want to jump in and share anything that has worked for your organization that improved the capabilities, or bringing network, or any like secret sauce that have helped your organization go a little bit a step ahead. And any of the names that I have not called out, please feel free to jump in and share some successes using your own organization's capabilities, or the network, or having collaboration with a partner.
I would like to jump in and
Yeah.
say the magical word is ask. Ask different groups, social media, communities like this, and other communities that we meet, especially when we go to exhibitions or some testing labs. Because more people we ask, the more knowledge we have, and the more collaborations we have at an interpersonal level. So for me, asking for what I want to different people, uh, who can be a friend or even a- have a brief interaction, is the secret sauce. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Ask is the one. I think so many times we just forget to ask, and we just assume there is a problem. Somebody in
But
our
Fiza,
previous incubation
Fiza, if you
program
don't
had
mind,
told me.
Fiza,
Yeah,
if you
sorry,
don't
Alka,
mind,
go
there's
ahead.
a very fine line between asking and over asking, and that's where we get confused. If somebody can throw light on that, that up to what level we should ask. It should not go, over asking. That is a dilemma before we ask. So if somebody has any insight on that, how to draw a line.
So
Uh,
I have one thing to add to this, to your thing about asking and over asking.
um,
It's just like if you step into their shoes and think if this is asked by you, will you think it's an over asking? And that's when you stop.
Great, great. That's a good insight. Thank you.
Okay, any more magic words, magic formulas, or magic sauces that we can share with our peer groups?
I would just like to come in here once again. Sorry. I would just like to say that as a founder, initially I was very shy, and over my journey, I realized you cannot be shy as a startup founder. You have to meet a lot of people. You have to connect with them. You cannot just think it, they will come and connect with us. We have to reach out and talk to them. And that over the last few years, I have recognized that I have developed that capability. So you have to keep reaching out to people, and you have to at least try to initiate a conversation once, because then afterwards, once you have initiated it, maybe they reply back, maybe they don't, but never get disheartened, because someone out there is going to reply. You have just got to reach out, like not over asking, but yeah, at least once you have to make that effort. So making
Yes,
effort is
Ritika.
my magic word.
Thank you so much. And it's a good one. Thanks. Over to you, Ritika.
Uh, So I was reading something on Instagram this morning, and it said that there's a difference between being a light worker and a light slave. And I think a lot for us entrepreneurs, and all of us seem to be working on really, things which really help the world. And I don't know about all of you, but I get caught in my little silo where I'm, I get up, sit in front of my computer, work all day, start again the next day. And I'm finding myself turning into a light slave rather than a light worker and working for myself. So this is something which I would actually look for solutions from other people rather than, but at least it's something which is in my head, which I have to be
Any
careful.
Sure, Ritika. So anybody has a solution of getting out of this rut of, not being so engrossed in your business that you lose a sense of who you are as a person, or who you are, like you are, what your life is all about. So and I think burnout is a very real issue when it comes to startups and when it comes to businesses. So any insights on how do you differentiate yourself from the baby that you're working on or creating? That would be great.
Yeah.
I
Teresa,
would.
I just wanted to.
Yes,
Hello.
Cletus. Yes, Cletus, go ahead.
Yeah, see, Teresa, I was listening to all of lovely founders here sharing their stories and how they were looking at challenges and how they're going to face it. It kind of gave me a little bit of a kind of an image that came into my mind. It's like, a spiral. Okay, a spiral in circles, you see. So starting off right from where Karen started off the whole story by saying, creating safe spaces. So I was looking at, myself as an entrepreneur. If you're looking at yourself as an entrepreneur, you're looking at the space that you give yourself within yourself. Okay, so that's the first circle. So, actually, I had a little diagram which I put up here. I'm not sure if you can see it. Something like this. So you start off with yourself here in the center, and then the next spiral is that you are with your team. That's where you are. That's the safe space that you're looking at, which you can work with. And then you go on to the next circle, is this circle of influence. How do you influence those people who are in your, whom you can influence within your network, and that circle keeps on expanding till you reach your goal and your vision. So that's the kind of an image that came to my mind. So I thought of when you said a word, a sentence, and so that's the kind of insight I'd like to share with the group from a different perspective. Thank you, Teresa, and all of you.
Thanks, Cletus. I think that's a very different dimension to look at it. Anybody else has a solution for Ritika's, to be or not to be problem? Most welcome to jump in over here.
So answering
Uh,
to Ritika's question of, being a light slave and being engrossed in your laptop every day and how to take out time for yourself, I think building a timetable or doing a time management where you dedicatedly take out 1 to 1.5 hours to do things that you love. It can be as simple as taking a walk or, going to gym or penning down your thoughts or journalizing, anything. So it takes you away that 1 hour of me time or self-help or reading a book or binge watching anything can actually take you out of that rut of being on your laptop every day and just working.
So, Ritika, since you brought up this question, the one thing is very clear that you're aware of the problem. You know that you should be taking out that time. Now the effort has to come in. So as she pointed out, I'm forgetting the name. I'm so sorry. That you have to have a dedicated time. How we take bath every day, we brush every day, we do things every day. That's also as important. So we have to have a me time every day. And since you already have an awareness, many people don't even realize that they are engrossed in the laptop day and day and night, and somebody else has to tell them. So you are at least aware of the situation, so it's easy to address it.
Yeah,
Can
all
I
these
jump
advices are
in?
coming in. I just want to step in very quickly because I know this thing of, getting engrossed in your work and losing track of time. All of you giving advices. Can I have in chat how many actually are able to peel themselves off from work and really go back to their life?
So I can probably jump in here. So this was what I felt exactly the same way, Ritika. And so this year, what I started doing was I decided at least twice or thrice a week, I would meet people, not from within, say, the space, but somebody new who has got nothing to do with what I'm doing. That is number one. if I can't meet people, at least I'll do something which has got nothing to do with what I'm doing. It could be a movie or could be just getting out. So, but I kept myself target at least twice a week. I'll do something. So maybe a small tip from my side. Yeah.
Hi. I don't know if you're moderating the sequence of who's coming in or not, but I'll jump in. Um, you know, I don't want to give any advice. I think you have the answers yourself. But I just wanted to, just like you presented a very interesting question for us to ponder over, that are you a slave to others or are you a slave to yourself? And I think being a slave in general is a bad idea. You could be in service of others and you could be in service of yourself. So being a slave to either is perhaps not a good thing. Very thought-provoking question, so thank you for the question. Second thing that I was evoked with and I'm sharing with you is that I have always loved the fact that silent and listen are palindromes. So, in order to listen to someone, we have to be silent ourselves. And in silence lies a lot of answers that we can discover for ourselves. So, I'd just like to share that with you and anybody who is willing to explore this.
Thanks, Bhavna. Let's move on to more solution-oriented discussions. I think it's very important to draw from own personal experiences of both good and bad so that others don't feel lonely. And I think one of the biggest challenges that I see, especially with women enterprises, is that uh, because there's so little awareness of the same problems that everybody is going through with respect to family, with respect to managing so many hats that we wear, that somehow everybody thinks that they have to be this amazing superwoman all the time, and by not being perfect in one arena is a personal shortfall, and not just about being a person, about being a human. So anybody who has any tips, thoughts, and from all the male participants, we would love to get your insight of what do you think about it as well, because both the voices are very important. So yeah, it's an open question anybody can take in about wearing these different hats, challenges that they're facing. You can talk about a challenge, you can talk about a solution. Any both are open.
Well, I believe that perfection does not exist. It just does not exist. It's an illusion. And beating oneself just to be perfect in all spheres, that is rather too much of an ask. Uh, I know I'm saying this now, but yes, Riza, at one point of time, I was just very close to a mental breakdown where I wanted to be perfect from at the home front and at the work front and everywhere else. It's only been a few years now that I've sorted it out. Yes, that perfection does not exist. So yes, just that bit of realization. Yes, that one time the profession will win and one time the personal path will win. It's never 50-50. It's always 60-40, 70-30, whatever. That realization has brought me peace. That's it. So yes, of course, this is a war that every woman, fights every single day. And it goes with the game. Yes.
Thanks, Meeta. Anybody else who wants to talk about this war, but from a different angle?
Hey Triza, Neha here.
Yes, Neha.
Okay, so I did join you guys to invite for our evening session, but it is so engaging and I'm loving it. And all my entrepreneurial issues and achievements, I am also uh, eager to share every time I wanted to speak, but this is the favorite one. I think we all should not forget that we all became founders to follow our passion. Otherwise, we all had a job or we had something else. So, for any reason, whether it is money, whether it is the addiction of success, whether it is what people are watching or doing at us, we should never ever forget the real reason why we started this company, whatever it is. I very strongly believe that we should not, it's saying that we should not dream less. Dream big so that you don't get sleep, but do not end up putting yourself in so many shoes that you lose your sleep. So at the end, it is you that is important. At the end, it is the revenue that is coming, which is only you can decide what is good for you. And at the end, you should get a peaceful sleep at the night. That's what I feel as a founder, and that's what I do with my company, What's Creation. And if you allow me, Teresa, I think I love the partnership part, and I think all the beautiful ladies over here should be our speaker in the evening also. Please join us. So we are talking on partnership for progress, amplifying impact together. One of the very strong services that we provide via What's Creations, a concept of community building and how you can collaborate and how going yourself in other person's shoes and giving them such a proposal that they don't say no. So that's the main definition of collaboration. If I was that, so somebody did talk about that in the session. So would love to see you guys. And thank you, Teresa, ma'am, Karan, ma'am, everybody. Great session. I'm loving it. Don't want it to end.
I love how everybody is plugging in their session in our in Founders Dilemma. I love it
Yeah.
because I guess this is what I love to see of women entrepreneurs going ahead and promoting themselves. But thanks, Neha. I guess I agree, and we had a very beautiful discussion last year about the North Star. And let's dive a little bit over there and talk about, especially for circular economy businesses, how do you start your businesses to solve a particular problem, and that's true for other areas also, but let's start with circular economy. But there are a lot of time that these challenges come in where you would want to take a choice, have to make a difficult choice, either to stay circular or move to more profit making, or acquire a particular customer. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I would actually invite Shashank to come over and talk about any difficult decisions he might have taken that have either resulted in compromise in terms of circularity, or in the short term, or in terms of finance.
Thank you, Teresa. So here, what we face challenges is about reusing our resources. Like in one of the processes where we make the recycled clay, we actually have the potential to reuse the water, but because we are at such a scale that we don't have all the infrastructure in-house, we get some of the processing done at the nearby industry. And that is where we actually add the water. And then when we have to dry the clay, we extract the water from it. Unfortunately, right now, we are not able to put that water back into the system because we can't carry this 2 tons of water back to the industry. And so that is a big dilemma. But our point is that we want to prove that this innovation actually solves problem at the next front of its usage. And when it's implemented at a bigger scale, we can actually create that impact. Once the whole POC is done, maybe when we reach to that particular stage, we'll have a lot of uh, parallel innovations happening that are evolving in the ecosystem. Like, for example, if we fire our ceramics at 1200 degrees Celsius, it takes a lot of electricity to reach that temperature. But right now, that's the stage. As we move further, perhaps 5 years, 10 years, there would definitely be the solar technology evolving, which will enable us to use renewable energy just to fully fire the pieces, not a fraction of it. So that is something that we have to stand by and make a decision that yes, right now it is not fully sustainable, but it has the potential as all the stakeholders evolve their own technologies, and then we integrate all of them in our processes, and that's how we take it.
Thanks, Shashank. I think this is a very important conversation because I see a lot of this constant negotiation in founders' mind, where they are taking these very difficult decisions. So, anybody else would like to share? Maybe Neetu, Pinky, Shalini, Vasundhara. Any of you would like to share about these challenges?
So, I'd like to share about something which we had encountered. So, one of the major issues that we initially encountered was we work with fish waste. So, it's highly putrescible. If you don't handle it properly within 6 hours, you'll end up with a lot of mess. I mean, it'll be a stinking, like, nuisance issue. And so, one of the initial solutions that we had looked at was solar dryers. So we had initially installed 100% completely solar modules, wherein the whole drying process was being taken care of by the solar energy. But the issue was the drying was uneven. So the end material which we had to take for processing was not yielding us the same result as the otherwise fully dried ones which we had tried using electric ones. So it was posing a significant challenge for us. So what we are currently doing is we tied up with a startup which is retrofitting stuff into this one, the dryers, making it like basically an electric module where if the skies become cloudy, it'll switch into a hybrid mode. So switching back and forth. So that is something which we have tried right now successfully. But then again, putting in circularity measures means upfront, you'll have to spend a lot compared to your competitors. So in our industry, the whole processing of the raw material is a very water intensive step. So we are currently exploring other newer emerging technologies to cut down the kind of water that is used. So one of the first thing was cutting down on the raw material processing, this one process, I mean the steps, and also the extraction steps versus the conventional industries. So but then the challenge comes that like we have to prove that our product is as good as the existing product to a customer base which is used to having the conventional products. And again, the price point also matters. So we are juggling with that, but yes, we are trying to solve the circularity issue at the back end.
Thanks, Neetu. Yes, Shruti.
So I would like to talk about circularity, especially in the plastic areas. So with plastics, one thing is the manufacturer does not need to reveal the composition of it, and that is an advantage for the manufacturer but a disadvantage for the community, because we don't know what kind of formulations are there and whether the product that we are getting is completely pure or not. Because in plastics, once a product is made and there is no disclosure of the formulations, then we cannot segregate it properly to again reuse and include in the circular economy. So, as a good example here would be epoxy resins or the UV cured resins, which are quite popular these days for corporate gifts. The actual epoxy resin is technically and scientifically to be used only in a fume hood. It is an equipment where the fumes get absorbed and the person using it or working on it does not inhale, because it causes a lot of and health issues. But these things are not being told just to increase revenues and are being used by a lot of people. Like now there are wedding gifts, there are clocks, coasters, everything. They are beautiful, but they are not good for health. So I think proper education in the circular economy business, especially with the plastics, is very essential. Secondly, a disclosure, some kind of disclosure from the government that the manufacturer has to reveal what kind of materials they are using in the product is very essential for circular economy to come and exist in our societies. Thank you.
Thanks, Shruti. Vasundhara, your hand is raised. Do share about circularity in your business. And I'm sorry, Vasundhara, I'm coming in here, and I'm sorry I'm doing this again and again. But I just wanted to say that if there are, we have been talking about circularity for a bit, but if there are other enterprises like Alka, your organization, where your focus on the North Star is getting challenged, we'd love to hear that story as well. Sorry, over to you, Shruti.
Yeah, Vasundhara. Yeah, so what I wanted to say is what I'm working in sustainability circular economy, right? So one of the major things that I faced is the more of a practical and ethical dilemma, that how do I align sustainability with sustaining my venture? We started with a theme of sustainability and waste to value and circular economy, but how to keep our organization sustainable while maintaining with our theme that we started with, because people are not wanting to invest into it. People are not aware of the impact of sustainability and the need for it. And so we hit a lot of hurdles. Like one of the examples I can give is one of the consumers wanted a raised functional parameter. So we have to blend something else in our natural biofiber that we are making. So what do we do to increase that parameter? Because will have to focus on maybe say incorporating some kind of different material that is not biodegradable, that is not sustainable, that is synthetic, and that does not align with our idea. So how much flexibility can we incorporate while maintaining incorporating our theme, and while which is also beneficial for our organization for sustenance of it. So that is one of the ethical dilemma we face, that how much can we diverge, how much can we stay on path, and where we can find an optimized path to keep both in hand and balance what we started with, and we do not deviate from that, because that is the passion we started with. We cannot lose on that, because then we are just a business, not an innovative entrepreneur then. So yeah, that's the one of the challenges that I have felt through this journey.
Thanks, Vasundhara. Let me just call out some of the voices that have been quiet for some time. Arun, Pinky, if you would like to share anything, please jump in. Yes, Ritika, you wanted to share?
So actually, interestingly enough, art and culture is actually the area which focuses on sustainability the most. Or, I mean, we are talking about stuff either in the past or the future, and the past influences the future at all times, whether it's culture, textiles, whether it's if you know about artists like Amar Kanwar, who have created museums of seeds, or who talk about areas in the Northeast where women have actually done work. And so for my area, circular economy is probably the most important, and it's something I keep wanting to build in. This can be through podcasts, this can be through bringing people on with more voices, but I'm very happy with more ideas from people again on how, in something like what I'm doing, we can work in more sustainability and circular economies.
Thanks, Ritika. Anybody who has any thoughts on collaboration between art and sustainability, please do jump in, share details with. If anybody has any other inputs
I
about,
can
finding
I
the North Star.
can
Yes,
I can
yes,
I
Shani.
just give I'd like to answer Ritika's
Sure.
question on art and sustainability. So Ritika, I think last year there was sustainability. I forget the artist, but it was very, very well received. But also the story was because they also talked about how art plays a very important role in communicating about sustainability. How like you spoke about the past and the present and future. I think they kind of brought in a lot of elements which was very forward looking, future thinking, but also looking back at the past. So I think those types of interesting concepts, I think it also creates not only awareness, but it also simplifies this whole sustainability and climate action. So I think there's a lot of potential ways to kind of bring in that, and I think some of the artists are already doing it, and of course we can chat whenever,
yes, let's work
outside
together
this.
on this.
Yes, yeah.
I'd like to build on what was just said about art to bring in conversation. I think one of the things that we are doing at Caregiver Sati is that the idea of the life of caregivers is often seen through only one narrative. For example, we have had stories or art that talks about caregivers only through sacrifice, valor, and Sati Savitri, Shravan Kumar, etc., etc. So that's the only image of caregiving that we have. Now, art can be used or leveraged not just to shift this narrative, to make it more wholesome or make it more human, or to make it beyond just holding hands of old people and things like that, is you could use art in all forms: painting, sculpture, poetry, dance, performances, etc., to change or shift the narrative around caregivers and caregiving. And in fact, we call it the heart of care, which is that, there could be different ways in which art can be used. And it can also be used to engage different types of people, not just youth, because you need to have a certain language otherwise to influence people. Art allows you not to have a language. Art also allows you to have different types of communication, not just through words and what we are doing right now, but for us to project our own experience. I mean, you're an artist, you know this, that when you see a piece of art, the artist may want to say something, but all of us project our own interpretation and our own experience. So putting together pieces of art can actually help create a conversation in sets of people that may not have seen something of that kind up until now. So, I mean, and therefore it has application in so many areas.
Bhavna, I'm actually going down to Calcutta to look at a show, not a show, look at art therapy for special needs kids.
Nice.
And, this is something which is coming up in February. And yes, it is very important.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah, so the point that I'm trying to make here is that while it is used as a therapy, it is also a tool for social change. It is a tool for, helping people see that which
Bhavna,
them
I'm so
swimming
sorry,
within.
but I think we are diverting from the topic of founder's dilemma to art as a tool. So I'm going to get it back to the same to discussing about founders, their dilemmas, and we are just going to talk towards the last section of this is this roundtable, and we're going to talk about the next C, which is collaboration. So let's talk about some practical experiences and insights from all of you, or some strategies or inputs of how to bring in more collaboration, or how to start collaborating with the networks that we have. Any story of success or any techniques that have worked for you are most welcome to be shared. There is a lot of peer learning that can happen from each other's experiences, for sure, for sure. So it's an open question. I can see one raised hand. Vasundhara, you want to go?
Yeah, actually, my answer would combine the last art as a tool and collaboration. So I actually worked in West Bengal, Shanti Niketan. When I had finished my MBA, I wanted to do something sustainable, and because of being of textile background with my bachelor's in NIFT, so I came upon the idea of organic dyes and organic apparel. So I went down to Shanti Niketan and I worked with the tribals, the Santhal tribals over there, and also with different artists, because Shanti Niketan is a very good cultural hub, and artists are very good artists over there. So I connected with a lot of them. We were able to create organic dyes from waste, like temple waste and event waste, kind of that, and even fallen leaves and all that. So we used to collect and we would dye, and we would come up with different techniques. We also connected with NGOs and the tribals. Their skills and craft skill set was incorporated into this. Even the artists, we took we give them some incentive, took their art, and we did graphic design, serigraphy through that on our apparel. So there was a lot of collaboration happening. We were able to generate actually 10,000 revenue within a day in one of the heart that happens over there. That is to bring about to showcase the artist talents and to encourage the art and craft over there. So we were able to achieve that through collaboration, and art as a tool. Few of my people that I met over there, one of them was directly working with the tribals, and she was propagating the cultural stories that mostly when you see the tribes, they do not have any written form of their culture or tradition in any written art shape or form. What they do is it is word of mouth. They tell their stories to the children and around campfire or something like that, and they pass down. But nowadays children are migrating for in such a better job, so that culture is dying down. So she worked with, she was using collecting folklores and tribal stories, and she was depicting them through various art forms in different through different like oil paintings and serigraphy and on clay, different tools, different sources. So that is art is a tool, and as a social revival of various cultural traditions that might have a lot of impact in current day and scenario. So that art is a tool, and the collaboration that happened over there between the tribe, between the artists, between NGOs, that was a lot of that gave a lot of good thing that happened over there.
So, Trina,
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, Alka, go ahead, please.
I'd like to, share my views on this collaboration. So first and foremost, collaboration is a very important part of any startup or a business. And for that, you have to have a designated time allotted for networking and meeting people. Sometimes collaboration come out of meetings where you are never expecting a collaboration. So attending conferences, seminars, like we are having this roundtable, these type of events adds on, because you sometimes connect to people you would have never connected, and you find synergies and you start working together. So this is one of the important pillars of running any successful enterprise, is to collaborate. And to collaborate, you have to meet, come out, meet people, and with no expectations of collaboration. They happen automatically. You just have to connect to people. Wherever the synergies will match, it will happen. And the universe has for everybody. So we have to be very fearlessly going around, even talking to the competitors. Sometimes collaborations come out of people who actually you would look as competitors. So it's like how you look into this. So if we are very secure and safe in our space, and you even reach out to your competitors, you might even end up in a good collaboration. So it's very important to reach out, meet people, and participate in events like this.
Oh, thank you, Alka. That's quite a boost for me. Anybody else wants to talk about collaboration and partnership and ways to do that? Because everybody will agree collaboration, partnership, networking is very important, but any easy ways to navigate that would be good insights from this roundtable.
So collaboration,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
So fundamentals of collaboration very simply are it's a win-win. Both the parties have to feel that they have won. And if it has to be a successful collaboration and both parties have to feel they are winning, then they have to be able to arrive at a common ground. Bringing two very different, not even two very similar thinking people, sometimes can feel competitive. So in order to find to be collaborative, you have to be creative, sometimes artful, to create a common ground where you can find ways to be successful, and all parties feeling that they have won. Jimmy Carter speaks very beautifully about this, that even for peace across nations, or for two individuals to be successful, collaboration means finding common ground and everybody feeling win-win. That means like a little bit of a dance. It means one step forward, one step backward. It means knowing what the rhythm is. It means creating a whole new piece that you would have not otherwise created.
Thanks, Bhavna. I'm just looking for some tips from people who can say that this is how you do it. So, Shalini, do you have
Yeah.
any tips for?
So
Yeah.
I think many times when we look at, say, networking or any of these, when we go for conferences, events, we sometimes make it very tactical. Exchange cards, how, it's just like if there's no relationship being built. So for me, I think I take some time to build relationship. You build common trust. But like I said, at some point in time, you also feel that, oh, there is a lot of synergies which we can kind of explore. You also have something to offer and they also have something to give, right? So that then you kind of build that relationship over time. Many times, be it a LinkedIn request or a network, it's like, what can you do for me? It's never like, what can I do for you? So I think that sometimes puts off people. So it's always better to build relationships over time.
So yeah, Teresa, what Shali said is that it's the law of the universe. First, be there to give, then to receive. See, most of the times at networking situations, we come across as someone who's very needy and greedy. This puts off people. So my one tip is be there for other people. How can I help you? What is it that you would want me to do for you? Who can I connect you with? What is your ask? And this is how you build a relationship based on trust and empathy. And this relationships, of course, works out for me always.
Thanks, Meeta. I'm just going to call out a couple of people. Nitu, I'm just going to call out the people and then you can go if you were saying something. I have seen Arun and both Shashank in action. Arun, I know, has been very extrovert. He speaks really well. And I have seen him networking, bringing people on. And Shashank is quite opposite, but I've still seen him building networks. So, Arun or Shashank, both of you would want to come in and share your strategies. We'd love to hear that. And Nitu was saying something. So, after Nitu. So Arun and Shashank, I'm calling out both of you. Neetu, you were
Is
saying
Nitu
something.
going
You
now?
want?
Shall I go ahead or would you guys like to speak?
Yeah, Neetu, you go ahead and then I
All
called
right.
out them.
So, this is a story from the field that happened with us, where I learned a lot from the community. So, we source our materials through self-help groups. All right. So, initially, the thing was, as founders, I know all of us are obsessed with our product and our company, how stuff should be and all. But then, when we started working with these communities, we realized that collaboration is one thing and delegation is also a important part of it. You shouldn't be going around micromanaging or trying to reach out to them and interfere with the way that they work. So it takes a lot of load off your shoulder. At the same time, when they reach any kind of roadblocks, they should have the kind of access to you wherein they can reach out and ask, hey, I am stuck over here, I need help, and you would be able to resolve the thing. So wherein if this kind of thing wherein you have a trust and where you are collaborating as well as delegating this kind of roadblocks where the other person can find a solution, it works like a magic. It has worked for us because we had earlier faced raw material challenges. So this thing had been a lifesaver for us.
Thanks, Neetu. Shashank, over to you.
Yes. Again, I think as I mentioned earlier, adding value to every conversation is something that has helped. And I am a person who is more of a one-on-one conversation person rather than a public address person. So that way somehow it has helped because a lot of I believe there are more introverts in the society than extroverts, and a lot of people actually connect to those one-on-one conversations. And also during these conversations, we get an opportunity to actually get to know the other person, also share and express ourselves as we are trying to build a safe space here as well. So that ways, more people are able to connect, and then and also when we are really sound technically, it just reflects in our conversations as well, and then people really catch up on that, and then it helps them to also talk about it later on. And I think that is really that has helped me to build the network through one-on-one conversations.
Thanks, Shashank. I'm just going to draw on some experience with Shashank. So, Shashank had visited many of my workshops and shared his learning with budding entrepreneurs. And one slide that he always showed in his session is the one session where he had actually applied to a number of places and reached out to a number of people. And it's a pretty long slide. And he gives us reality check that how collaboration or getting something from an external network requires so much an effort. And I think that is a lesson that I carry with myself for the entrepreneurs that I work with. And it's a very beautiful slide with like bars and things, and you can see how much effort is really put in by somebody to get the response from the network itself. So yeah, building on that, if anybody else has any input or tip or magic formula to share about collaboration, networking, I would love to hear that. I think I've exhausted all the magic formulas in this group. So with this, I think we are coming towards, the closing of the session. We have still 10, 12 minutes more. So I'm going to throw a last question to everyone. And that may or may not be profound depending on how you take it. So one thing, one lesson or one profound realization of running a business, can be personal about who you are as a person, or how the market reacts, or how the world has changed. Anything from right from introspection to market analysis, anything that you would like to share with the audiences and with generally everyone, that would be nice to hear. Calling all
I'll take the
extroverts.
first step. I'll take the first step now. Uh, 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 so one thing about entrepreneurship that I have seen it, and also in terms of dilemma of coming up with new products or offerings, if I'm really concerned with what is not available or what I want to offer and passionate about it, only then I pursue it. Otherwise, only doing it for revenue is a very dangerous situation, because that is something that we cannot be dependent on to really move forward, because revenue is completely an external factor. But something that drives us is purely internal, and it takes us much longer than the focus on revenue.
Yeah, so I
Beautiful
completely
mess.
agree with Shashank that whatever you are doing has to be fulfilling and gratifying. Unless and until that happens, you will not going to stay on the path. So we should always be, driven by that inner goal. Somebody mentioned that we should never forget why we got into this. Till the work is going to give you that satisfaction and the peace of mind, till that time, everything is going to fall in place. The moment the focus is on things which are external, there is an issue, and the issue can also be overconsumption. If you're focused on your goal, the overconsumption also doesn't happen, because the energies are very concentrated in one place rather than just going everywhere. So the basic of mantra is, never forget why you are into this. And the moment you start feeling happy being there, there's a problem.
Beautiful.
Okay, I'll go next. This is from my time as a journalist, when you be polite to people you wanted uh, bites from, interviews with, etc., until it was too late and you had like one day to hand in your article, and at which point you start phoning them up desperately. And then suddenly the politeness goes out of the window, etc. So uh, this is one of my major. Uh, I have to keep reminding myself about this. Okay, this you can only be. You have to keep reaching out to people. You know, uh, all this politeness, all this, people will reply to you, people will get back. This is all very well, but it doesn't quite work for an entrepreneur.
So my two learnings are, first is that execution is the key. You may have great ideas, but I've seen greatest of the ideas fail so many times. So execution, a proper execution, timely and in a sustainable manner, using all the resources that you have. So execution is something which I feel is comes from a very dedicated team. And when I talk of team, there is always a leader. Now, the success of the venture, of course, is on the shoulders of this leader. And for an entrepreneur to successfully evolve into being a leader and being able to delegate well and get your people excited and motivated to work with you are the two things that I feel are very important: leadership and execution.
Uh, I'll just add to Mita's. So I think for me, it is waiting for everything to be perfect. I think one of the lessons I learned is, even if it is imperfect, go ahead and just launch it. Just wait for the reaction. You can keep building on it. But most of the time we wait for, oh, this is not right, that is not perfect, the timing is not right, the product doesn't look good. But I think you just go ahead and, get it out. So
Okay, we are waiting for more life lessons, if I can say that.
So I'd like to jump in here. The key to, building any product or service that I have found is like pivot when you get the gut feeling that things are not going right. I mean, trust your gut feeling because 90% of the time that is right. Because we started out as a waste management company. We focused on plastic waste, we focused on services. We still do some of the work that we used to. But then there was a point where I realized that yes, this is not the actual uh, like forte that we have. Our niche and our forte is something which is slightly different. So never be afraid to pivot and always trust that pivoting will, in a way, save you from, failing later on and making more investments in something that would have ended differently. So that is my takeaway.
Fantastic. Vasundhara, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, I just on a tangent or maybe on the line, I just want to add say a few motivational, a couplet, which is a very motivational. And because all of us as founders have faced struggles or are still facing struggles and face stress and a lot of things in our journey. So I would just like to say, कौन कहता है आसमां में सुराख नहीं हो सकता, एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो. We just keep trying. I mean, let's throw up a stone. सुराख तो होगा ही, कभी तो होगा ही.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Vasundhara, for bringing poetry back in serious conversations. I want to call upon Megha. Megha, are you there? Would you like to share certain any any insights from the lessons that you have learned while building your business? Mehnoor?
Yes, thank you, Teresa. I think one important takeaway for all entrepreneurs would be to ensure that if, for example, even the previous thing that we talked about, collaborations, building that trust within your community and beyond as well is very important. And for that, being able to advertise and market your brand, uh, it becomes very important because if you want to attract, investments, investors, collaborators, you need to be able to go out there confidently and unapologetically. So yeah, that's something that I'd like to put out here.
Thanks, Mehnoor. If anybody has any last magic formula sources to share, any inputs, any life lessons, any profound information that they would like to share in this with their peer group, now is the time. We are going to wrap up in the next few minutes.
I'd like to share a recent insight I got. I did a psychometric test and I was talking to somebody who's a coach, and I realized that I have a trigger that I do not like something. So I feel that if you get some input like that intuition someone spoke about, but if you get some intuition there, some feedback that you are not being listened to, that is feedback, that there is something that you have to reflect on to change your language, your presentation, or whatever. So sometimes resistance and sometimes the feeling that what you're saying is not being heard is also feedback.
A very profound input for sure. And with this note and with this profound lesson, I think it's time to wrap this up. I think we spoke a lot about who we are as founders, etc. We spoke about collaboration. We spoke about the different challenges of being young, being inexperienced, not having the right degree, or balancing work life, figuring out how to peel yourself away from your computers and trying to find the balance and living your life, talking about passion driving your business, to how to network, to being present in different kinds of formats of networking, and also a lot of very interesting important lessons about reaching out to people and building your team, etc. And I guess this has been such a beautiful conversation, and there is a lot of peer learning. All the speakers over here, you're already part of the group. Feel free to continue to get in touch with other people. Anybody who wants to get in touch with other founders who are not part of the speaker groups, this is the time to reach out and collaborate. And thank you so much for being such amazing speakers and sharing so much knowledge and insights very freely. We had Neha Vatsala, who already spoke about her upcoming session on partnership and collaboration. And we have already spoken a lot about the importance of collaboration. So do join in her session. It is at 7:30. And she's doing a workshop, but it's more open workshop. There's going to be a lot of peer learning there as well. I am putting the link over here. um, and there are tons of really great sessions happening throughout the day, which includes women work and the balance around it. So please do check out those sessions as well. All of you are very insightful speakers, so come in and share your insight on the chat box over there as well. And I would request some of you to drop in over there, especially for these two sessions, and contribute. um, and lovely to have you over here. And with this, we sort of wrap up and we say bye to each other. And hopefully, I'll see you next year again in the third edition of Founders Dilemma. Yeah. Thank you. Bye, everyone.